You're listening to 3D Radio, 93.7 FM. If you are just joining us for the first time, you're listening to Live from Studio 3, a show that we here at 3D Radio do every Wednesday between 8 and 9 p.m, showcasing the best and, in fact, all of South Australian music and beyond. It's a very nice time, and it's good to have your company for the evening. If you're wondering which particular artist we have on this evening, Georgia Oatley is coming in ahead of the launch of her debut album, A Pastoral. She's got a very cool show coming up, which I'm going to give you the details of. She knows it a little bit now, so you can get it drummed in at the lab. And we're very excited to have you in here, Georgia. Thanks for coming in.
It's my absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's exciting. And we're going to be hearing a couple of new tunes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, some of the songs off of the album, pretty much all of them. Not every single one, but pretty much all of them tonight. Yeah. And some of them are new, some of them are very old.
Great.
It's a debut album feeling.
Debut. Yeah. There's an excitement in the air, and I hope it's coming out of your little speaker thing into your ears, wherever you are. We're keen to catch up and find out a little bit more about this, but firstly, if you could, we'd love a little musical introduction.
Yes,
even.
I'll get straight into it. My first song is Geometric Pattern Innocence.
You listen to 3D.
The next track is called For Ted, and it was written with my little mate Ted. He does the vocals alongside mine. We'll let the birds easy sing.
You're listening to 3D Radio. Beautiful sounds there from Georgia Oatley. If you're just joining us, she's going to be performing until 9 p.m. And I love this style of music.
Yeah.
When did you first get into kind of electronic music and even kind of incorporating some of the samples? We had some good bird sounds in there.
Yeah.
When did you start getting into that type of vibe?
I think when I was like 15 years old or something, I remember lying in bed and imagining in my head, I was listening to a lot of electronic music at the time, like trance or drum and bass or something, and I imagined a song with entirely using bird noises, like a dance track. So I think that's the inception of that. From then, probably about 17, I started performing with a mate of mine, Nick Dowitz, who now goes by the name Florogenics, who's an amazing producer. And we made music together for a while. And I think him and I share a lot of sensibilities in that way. And now he hears music. And although it was in an earlier stage when we were first making music, we both shared that. I remember him showing me a sampler in some of the first times we hung out, and it was full of bird noises. So, yeah, I think it's been there kind of from the start of me making music. But, yeah, this is how it manifests now, maybe 10 years later.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you find with a lot of electronic music it can often be maybe a little bit more repetitive than some other types of music, and in a good way that I like. But in terms of having those noises in there, does it help to kind of paint a scene a little bit in terms of, instead of being like, I'm at the beach, or like, having to kind of bonk it on over the head just to be able to kind of take someone somewhere with a sample?
Yeah, I think that electronic music is naturally more repetitive just by the nature of how it's made. The technology that we use, or that it was initially made on, like sequencers and drum machines, etc., they all often operate on a loop kind of interface, I guess, a looping interface. So it naturally is more repetitive. The inclusion of bird noises and samples, I find, kind of helps create an organic thing. In obviously electronic music is not very organic naturally, especially when it's to a grid. Whereas acoustic music can be more fluid because of the natural humanness of it. So I think that adds a little bit of the human touch, a bit of the world around it in it, which is really important to me and my practice, I think.
Who's Ted?
Ted's a little dude that I look after and hang out with. I've been, like, I work as a disability support worker, and I have the privilege of looking after him, and we've become, it's almost like family at this point. It's been like 7 years of hanging out with him. So we made a song together, mostly just as a fun activity, but it ended up being a banger, and he listens to it every time we hang out. So yeah, I'm really happy with that track.
Fantastic. Big shout out to Ted.
Yeah, shout out to Ted.
If you're listening in there. Pretty keen to jump into some more tracks from you. This next one you got lined up is one that I've been enjoying. I've been enjoying hearing it played out over the airwaves here at 3D Radio, and I was wondering if you could give us a little introduction to Time Passes Murmur. Yeah,
so Time Passes Murmur. It's a song I made. I think it's like I've described it as it's like you're walking through a hall of mirrors. There's echoes bouncing off the walls, and I guess it's just considering, how do I put it succinctly, considering like your relationship with time, or a person's relationship with time, maybe specifically mine, and how just fleeting everything is, but how the present moment is all we have. I guess it's a meditation on that.
Beautiful. Can't wait to hear it live from Studio 3.
Here we go. This next one is called Eroded. Shout out to Mark on bass.
This land was quickly eroded, ooh, surrounding me so easily. Can't see the road ahead like a winter's day. Cry for me and take me away from the never-ending echo of my insolent ways. Pry my arms, I lay awake, I take and take the weight on my own. Breathless, found me in a room surrounded by feel for the warmth instead. This land was quickly eroded, ooh, surrounding me so easily. Give back the wealth instead. The land knows the way.
You're listening to George Oatley live from Studio 3 here in the 3D studios. That was beautiful. I kind of don't want to interrupt it with my useless jibber jabber, but I do want to find out a little bit more about what's happening. We just had Time Passes Murmur and Roded. Are these relatively recently recorded? When were they put together, these tracks?
Yeah, so Eroded was a song that I wrote probably like close to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it existed in a very different form at about like twice the tempo with like synthesized trumpets, and it was really quite an upbeat, up-tempo song,
Oh, wow.
despite how it appears now. And I didn't think it was going to make it onto the record because it just didn't sound very good. Just the way it was old work at this point. But I felt like there was something good in there that needed to be salvaged out of the strange MIDI arrangements I'd made, and sort of changed the key, played it on piano for a bit, and it was sounding pretty good. And in the process of sort of producing this album, in the later stages, Sebastian Vivian came in, a local, very talented producer, came in and just randomly in conversation through us weaving through all the tracks, he showed me a bass and voice duet of a Little Dragon song covered by, I can't remember her name, Leanne Havas or Havanas or something, and she's amazing. And it was just a bass and duet cover, and it made me go, And my partner's a bassist, Mark, and I just said, do you think we could figure this out and make a little duet out of this? And it's the only time we've ever made music together, but I think it came out pretty good.
I think you're onto something with this one. It's kind of giving me kind of good Portishead energy. It's almost
nice.
like one of the kind of mid-album cuts where you drift off a little bit, as I was doing over there on the couch. And I'm glad you've kept it in.
Yeah.
You've got some pretty big things happening. You've got the album release of A Pastoral on the 10th of Feb.
Yeah.
How are you feeling in the lead up to that?
I think I was feeling more stressed, and now I'm starting to get really excited. It's not far away now. I've been slowly releasing singles with Time Passes Murmur and What I'll Play Later, Into the Deep Blue, and I've been getting some good feedback, and that's been really nice. To make something is one thing, but to feel it reflected back at you by the world around you is actually really nice, and it feels like the first time I've been properly feeling that for releases anyway. So that's been really good. So I feel excited, and I'm really excited for people to be able to take the songs with them and like have them in their space and just be able to drive around with them on. It's a great hills drive.
Yeah.
On the last listen I had before I sent it off to the vinyl presses, I was driving through the hills at sunset, and it was like, okay, I think I've done what I wanted to do here. So that's my favourite place to listen to music, in the car through the hills, and I feel like I captured something that I'm really happy with. And
I know you're a busy person with many hats, and it's a good opportunity for your friends to catch up with you when they can't quite get a hold of you. Yes. They can head up there through the hills and go, all right, Georgia's got a full schedule again this week. I guess I'll just listen to her sing.
That's a beautiful way of putting it, and I hope that people feel like they can access me through my music. That's really special. Yeah, totally.
For people wanting to even more directly experience some of this music, you're going to be launching the album on the 15th of Feb at the Lab.
Yes, I am.
And firstly, exciting venue. I think whenever I see anyone's playing at the Lab, I'm always excited to see what they do with the space. I was wondering if you could touch on a little bit about your plans, even visually, and also some of the people that you're bringing along with you to make this what is a pretty cool and complete looking lineup for a show.
Yes, so the gig at the Lab, I chose the Lab because, it is an exciting venue. It has almost 360 wraparound screens for anyone who hasn't been there. There's, giant screens on every wall. And so it makes for a very immersive experience, kind of no matter what. And that was kind of important to me because I like the opportunity to elevate what I'm doing. I've been playing for many years now. I've played at every pub. I love it. But I wanted to put a little bit more pizzazz on this show just to celebrate the music and I guess get across my vision. And I think in the process of making this album, I realised I'm a really visual music maker, as in I believe a lot of musicians are, but kind of synesthetic relationship to music. I'm very visual. I think about landscapes when I'm making music. If I could call my music landscape music, or maybe I can call it that, but if that was a genre, I would probably put it under that, some of my songs at least. Trip hop landscape music. So I guess partly I wanted to use the Lab to try and evoke some of that visual language that I have existing in my head and my heart. So I've asked Joe F to come along, who is a collaborator of mine. He plays drums with me sometimes, but is an amazing digital visual artist using analog. I don't even really understand what it all is, but crazy analog visual gear. It's obsolete, strange tech that he can turn into fun visuals. So he's going to be on the visuals with the organic kind of technology vibes. And then I've asked my friend Claude Crichton to come along to be the stage designer. So we're going to have some puppets.
Fantastic. Tell us about these puppets if you can. Yeah,
the puppets I think is a big draw. It's a big draw. This isn't your usual album launch. There will be puppets that Claude has made. we spent all weekend paper macheing in the heat. We made like 20 strawberry lanterns that were going to be hanging around the space. Otherwise, there's some, I believe there's going to be some horses that rove through the crowd, and some little people puppets as well. So I think it'll be a bit of fun.
You've played gigs with the Bait Fridge before.
Yes.
Are they inspirations in terms of some of this kind of, utilization of this stuff to get people really into the spirit of things?
Totally. I think the Bait Fridge and my involvement and just enjoyment of their stuff is definitely inspirational. Yeah, I think the immersive nature of performing is something I really value, and especially as a electronic performer, I think as especially solo electronic performer, it's nice to add elements to invite people into the music. Beyond just me standing and swanning around the stage.
Great. I've just got one more question.
Yeah.
We're very keen to hear some more of these tunes, and we kind of touched on a little bit, knowing you personally, I know that you run around and do all these different projects, and is that a helpful thing on a creative sense? Are you the type of person that needs a bit of momentum in all aspects of their life to knuckle down and do something like recording an album, or are you the type of person that needs to step away to be able to, concentrate, I suppose?
Yeah, I wonder if I know the answer to that yet. I feel like I don't know yet. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I am always busy, but a lot of this music was written in a time where I was less busy. Getting this done has been no easy feat schedule-wise. It's taken some time, but all good things take time, and I've been appreciative of the process. Honestly, I think I'd probably make music whether I was busy or not. I would find a way. I reckon I would find a way. But though sometimes I do imagine just like being shut in a strange, dingy room in Brazil or something, and I don't even smoke cigarettes, but just to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and drink a bottle of miscellaneous liquor, you know what I mean? And just write an album. But that isn't really my lifestyle, but sometimes I imagine being shut away. There's something romantic about that, but who knows if that would actually help or help me create good work. I don't know.
Only one way to find out. You're listening to Georgia Oatley live from Studio 3, and we're very keen to launch into a couple of tracks now. Georgia, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. All right, let's do Into the Deep Blue, my latest single.
into shapes in an empty room. Symbols to ground, reflect back at you the ways you find yourself. I find you feeling as I learn about your love and the way you respond to people around you. Reminds me to be a better version of me. Reminds me to be. 'Cause your heart is so large. You're like the people write poems of. Your heart that doesn't wanna hurt no more. Silver dollar says you won't believe me. Silver dollar says it isn't true. Silver dollar says you cannot do it. But I've got this picture of you. Purring skin, damp curls, a smiling gun. Met with the web of silk and thread. Oh, a person afraid of repeat. There is no ease when that spirit crawls into your mouth. Yeah, you deserve love. Your heart is so large. You're like the people that the people write poems of. Your heart, it doesn't wanna hurt no more. Silver dollar says you won't believe me. Silver dollar says it isn't true. Silver dollar says you cannot do it. But I got this picture of you. Silver dollar, believe me. Silver dollar says it isn't true. Ooh.
I think that's my cue. Is that my cue?
I think it is.
Cool. What have we just heard there?
That one is called Your Heart is So Large.
Fantastic. New? Older?
It's yeah, it's newer, but it's not on the album.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. It's just floating.
it's a floater for now.
Cool.
I really like it, but I think it was just written at a different time, and it lives with a separate collection of songs that it fits. I don't know, just fits better with them.
Thinking of time, I've been sitting there and I'm liking so many of the different sounds in this kind of trip hop world, which is a world that I like. I was hearing little shades. I'm just going to make up stuff, but like maybe DJ Shadow kind of
Sure.
elements in the track before, and there's a bit of a Portishead flavor and all that kind of all these kind of key 90s trip hop things that a lot of people love. But I'm kind of interested in the continuation of that genre to now. So
Yes.
you're making this type of music, and people are still making music like this, but it's maybe not as hugely popular as it was in or maybe more mainstream popular in the 90s
Yeah.
in a way. And I was wondering if you could touch on that, or maybe even some of the things that you think work so well with this kind of genre
Yeah,
for you.
I think my parents played a lot of trip hop for me as a kid, and I don't think I really realized that I was making trip hop until kind of recently. And maybe I wasn't making trip hop before, but I definitely feel like I am now. And it kind of is just something that dawned on me. I think trip hop is an amazing genre born out of England, and like kind of it's like a growth on rap, with beautiful, often ethereal vocals. I have got Portishead a couple times, and I remember the first time I ever did, I transitioned from being told that I sound like Bjork to being told I sound like Portishead, and that was a big moment for me. I was like, I really love Bjork, but I really like Portishead, so that was a pretty cool thing, and it wasn't ever intentional, but it has happened. Yeah, the genre being popular is kind of funny. I think once this album was finished, I was able to reflect on it in a way I never had been able to before, and just hearing it kind of separate from myself, and it helped me reflect on artists that I love that I guess are in a similar space, such as Terza. I don't know if you know Terza.
I like Terza, yeah.
I think
Color Grade and
yeah,
all that good
I
stuff.
think Terza's maybe a good reference in some ways for me. Similar coordinates maybe. I'm a big fan of hers, and I love what she makes. I think she's been described as like asymmetric trip hop, which I think she is maybe a little bit more asymmetric in places than I am, and almost like, what's the word, like decomposed trip hop or something. Her music has a lot more negative space, I feel like, which I really love. So I think, yeah, there are continuations on the genre, and it's just interesting to see it grow because it is sort of such a hugely 90s thing, but there's no reason why it shouldn't keep evolving.
I have a quick admission that I won't dwell on for too long, but whenever I go to JB Hi-Fi, I look through the vinyl section, and they've had a Terza vinyl on clearance for about a year, and each time I'm like, I'm going to get it, and then I go back and it's still there, so I need to pick up that the next time I'm there.
Quickly, before everyone who's listening who's a fan of Terza runs to the store, you might have to go knock on their door tomorrow morning.
But more importantly than that anecdote is the thing you're talking about with the space in the music. Do you think that's something that works well because so much of this music is so well suited to be listened to at nighttime?
Yeah.
Often when people are kind of, quite often you'll listen to this type of music alone or with some friends, but
relaxing.
I think that's when it works so well. Sun's down, candle, beer, whatever you're doing.
I think music that invites space into your life. It's hard for me personally even to find space to just chill and listen to the world around me. So a song that has negative space kind of invites you to do that. Like, not to be a music wanker, but like John Cage, 433 or whatever. It's just like a silent piece of music. It's like, what does that mean? Yeah, and I think finding that space in music so people can listen to the world around them is really nice. And I think I try to do that in a way with my music. I like to think of people being able to like open up to the space around them with my music instead of my music taking over the environment around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that made sense.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you can almost feel like you're saying something insulting when you say background music, but music that can kind of exist.
Yeah.
That you can dial in. You can get right in there, but then also, the whole album can go past and you've just been talking to someone or...
And that is kind of ambient music, like furniture music that is made to be in the room like furniture is. It kind of sounds rude, but I think it's a really beautiful idea.
Yeah. George Oatley, live from Studio 3.
That's
I
me.
want to catch a couple more songs. I think coming up next is Weaving Online.
Yeah.
So we're keen to jump in. We'll say a quick farewell at the end, but if you're ready, we're ready for you.
Great, let's do it.
It's pushing me, refrain to stun me. I'm caught in your vortices. The only lie I need is the one where we live happily. Flirting with your fantasies, I can taste your debris. Hedonistic energy, relapse in new territory. Refrain, destiny. I'm caught in your vortices. The only lie I need is the one where we live happily.
You're listening to 3D Radio 93.7 FM, the wonderful Georgia Oatley blessing us with an entire set of live music here on Live from Studio 3. Thank you, Georgia.
My pleasure.
Um,
My true pleasure.
We've still got a little bit of time left. I'll
Yeah.
just quickly check with you, how long is your last track? Just so we can get the wonderful and arguably the most patient presenter in 3D, Sam's show, on track at the right time.
It'd be about 5.
All right, let's do a type 5 chat as
Yeah.
well in there. Your album launch once more is happening on the 15th at the Lab. Did we talk about the supports?
We haven't yet.
Okay, because they're cool and I'm interested
yeah,
in
they
them.
are.
You've got Mai Cherie, who I know quite well and fan of her music.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Wild Child.
And I don't know so well, and I want to get the pronunciation right on this one, so I'm going to throw it to
Yeah,
you.
this is Mariam Ramani.
Yep.
And Gabriella Smart. Yeah, so I have engaged Mariam Ramani and Gabriella Smart and to make a work with me. We're going to create a set together. It's going to be largely improvised. Mariam is an Iranian santur player and Comanche player, where the santur is basically like if you imagine a lap harp. It's a piece of wood with lots of strings on it
Gotcha.
that lays flat on your lap or on a stand, and then she hits it with little hammers. So it's kind of what a hammered dulcimer, but doesn't help if you don't know what a dulcimer is.
What is a dulcimer for those playing along at home?
It's basically a piece of wood with lots of strings on it that you hit with little tiny rods. Yeah, and it sounds really beautiful and plucky, and it's really stunning. And a Comanche is a kind of, I guess it's a kind of violin type instrument. It's a bowed stringed instrument. From the Middle East.
Fantastic. Speaking of, it takes a village to even put on a project like a solo project. Are there some other people that you wanted to mention that have been involved in this process? And
Yeah.
I was wondering if, while we wrap up, you could maybe talk a little bit more about the album and a few things that you're excited for people to get to experience when they hear this full project.
Totally. I guess I'll just also add that Gabriella Smart is an amazing musician as well in her to the depths and to the heights. She's an amazing musician. She will be playing the electric crystal, which is an instrument that that Dylan Krismani invented, who's an Adelaide guy. It's like basically glass rods that you rub with wet fingers
Wow.
in an amazing rack. That it looks very impressive and it sounds amazing, and it's a microtonal instrument. So it's pretty cool. And Gabrielle is deeply accomplished, an amazing, vibrant, incredible woman. So shout out to her. I'm really excited to collaborate with those guys. It's going to be awesome and strange. And it'll be a once-off performance. So I would also like to thank the Adelaide City Council, who approved a grant for me today.
Shout out.
That will be helping fund my album launch. So thank you so much to them for their support. It means the world.
Can they do anything about my parking tickets?
Yeah, I can ask.
Okay, thank you.
I think I'm on their good side now. So.
Fantastic.
I'll put in a good word. I would also like to thank Sebastian Vivian, who is a co-producer on the album, and there's so many. Jack Hooper did the artwork. He's an amazing artist from Tootie Arts. He did the album artwork, and I'm really stoked with that. Other than that, it's going to be coming out on vinyl, and you can pre-order that now, and you can buy tickets to the show. Just look up George Oatley, The Lab. They'll come up. I would mean the world to see people there.
Can't wait. And thank you once more for the songs. I've really enjoyed listening to them.
Thank you so much, Isaac. It's been awesome.
Make sure you tune in. Stay tuned in for Raw Like Sushi after this. Before we jump in, what makes you pick Hughes as your closer?
It's just a banger.
Yeah?
Yeah, it just goes hard.
All right. I'm ready. You
All
ready?
right. Thank you so much, 3D Radio. I love you. You're the best ever, always. Not that song. I want Hughes. This song is about the light at the edge of a shadow that glimmers somewhere between 5 and 9 in that golden hour.